Mr. Chapman, ask Mr. Chapman where he would recommend that we keep our gold and silver.
Well, I think I just answered that. The best place is home in a safe. And if you don't want to do that, dig a hole in the yard and put it in a GI can, 30 caliber ammo can, and bury it. Just cover it with Cosmoline, and sure you're going to get a little rust. Big deal. Gold is immutable, and silver too. Silver will discolor. You can get that off in 5 seconds. And so those are the two places to go with it. I don't like to see people putting gold and silver physical assets in places in other countries, because if you need to get it back, maybe you won't be able to. I always tell people, if you're going to put money, anything, in another country, be prepared to live with it. Be prepared to go to that country.
Let's see, burying not an option from Florida.
Well, you can get down 3 to 4 feet.
Okay, let's see.
But the safe is better. The safes, the good safes today, cost $2,000. I mean, I just bought another one, and I've got 2 of them. And the first one I had cost about $1,200, and so the price has gone up. So has everything else. And obviously, I got a lot of weapons, so I need 2 safes. What can I tell you?
Well, this is one of the things that Betty comes in. Of course, everything's going up because the dollar is devaluing. It's what a $20 in paper would buy just a short 6 months ago is not going to buy you what you had today. 50 years ago, or even 20 years ago, $1,000. What's she saying? $1,000 worth of paper in 1989. Would literally buy everything I needed in my apartment expenses and my books while I went to college. Today, $1,000 won't even spend in one day. So that's a pretty good straightforward statement, Betty. Big time. Mr. Chapman, let's see. Don't get an electric safe. If there isn't an EMP blast, you're shafted. That comes from Mike.
Well, I've never even seen an electric safe.
I've never seen an electric safe either, but evidently he has.
Well, I just get they have digital locks on them now, and they get these, it looks like a bank vault. And they're really snazzy. And much better than, 10 or 15 years ago. But anyway, that's the way to go, and most everybody in this program has weapons. And you want to put them in a safe place, and unless you have a concealed carry and you're carrying all the time. And I have a concealed carry license, and but I usually didn't carry because I lived in an area which had very, very little crime. The last time I lived in the United States, and that was in Florida. But when I went to Miami or Tampa or someplace like that, my wife and I did carry.
Oh, he's talking about an electric lock. That's exactly what I mean. An electric lock.
I never even seen them either. I'm behind the times.
Don't feel bad. I saw one. I saw an electric lock safe out at Sam's Club for $1,600.
Mm-hmm. Well, if it was made in China, I won't buy it.
I heard that. I have Colorado out here as well, and we've got all these people calling me like I've got time to answer telephones. Let's see. I've got to get over here. Where's my question area? I've got a question from Larissa. No, it's not from Larissa. I got a question from Lisa. Mr. Chapman, do you obviously you believe in gold vesting as a protection against inflation? What's going to be the current money in the near future? I keep hearing people are now trading openly with gold and silver here in Washington behind the scenes. It's like you want to buy something, the first thing they ask is, well, I'll take this in gold, but if you've got paper, American U.S. dollars, it's going to cost you this much, and you'd be surprised at the difference here. I even called a gun dealer in Montana, and
Judy,
the first thing he wanted was gold instead of paper.
Well, I think you're saying that happened all over the country, and it'll become more prevalent as time goes on. And I think that a lot of people are doing more bartering than they did before, and I think that it gives rise to the use of gold and silver coins. I would take advantage of that if you could, because usually you'll spend less money.
Let's see, I got to get rid of that message here. I got to come over here. Where's this other message here, Drew? Please ask Mr. Chapman about the Obama is pressing Spain for an economic reform. It appears the pigs are about to fall, and I hope he doesn't take the expression pigs, meaning a pig in a slop pit. What I'm referring to is of the nations referred to as pigs. With Spain having an economic problem, Obama's jumping on the board and pressing Spain for economic reform, yet he turns around and gives $50 billion to bail out the euro. That doesn't look smart investing to me. What does Mr. Chapman think?
Well, I think that the $1 trillion bailout was definitely the idea of the Federal Reserve, and they're behind this whole thing. Another thing that they've done is, again, set up a swap facility, and they're swapping currencies again with 5 major countries. And what they do is they give them dollars, which they create out of thin air, and they receive the other currencies in return. And when they get those currencies, they use them by selling them into the market to suppress the value of those currencies, the euro, the pound, the Swiss franc, etc. On the other hand, instructions are given to the recipients of these dollars to buy U.S. treasuries. That's how they're funding the treasury market. Last time they did it, and they stopped a few months ago, they used $583 billion. Goodness knows what they're going to use this time. And I think the president is going to try to take credit for helping to instruct countries like Spain to get their house in order. But if you stop for a minute and you think about what they're going through, these countries that are in trouble, they're all cutting back on wages, pensions, hours worked, they're laying off, and they're going into austerity. When you go into austerity, revenues fall, and that means you got less money to pay off the debt that you owe. So it's a never-ending downward cycle. They're not going to get out of this thing, none of them. And it's not just the 5 pigs, as they're called, Portugal, Ireland, Italy, Spain, and Greece and Spain. There's 19 countries that are bankrupt or close to it. And one of them is the United States, and the other one's England.
Mr. Chapman, if somebody were to do some devastating act on the Wall Street Stock Exchange, what would happen to the investments of the stock exchange?
Well, they might very well go down in value, and I think that's what happened last Thursday. I think the United States government was behind that correction that lasted 10 to 15 minutes, and then turned around and went right back up again, dropped almost 1,000 points, and then went back several hundred points. And they were in league with major banks and brokerage houses such as J.P. Morgan Chase, Goldman Sachs, Deutsche Bank, Citigroup, HSBC, etc. And they were trying to scare Congress into not passing legislation to investigate the Fed, and also not passing legislation to break up the banks that are too big to fail. That's what that was all about.
It was like I look at it like as a dry run.
Could very well be, and you're gonna see that kind of thing again.
Oh yeah, big time. Mr. Chapman, is it safe to own any stocks at all?
Yes, gold and silver shares. Other than that, there's some gold and silver shares are okay. There are some oil companies that I like. Other than that, no.